Okay, it's been quite a while since I've done a video, so with the new Chaos Codex, lovely hardback covers, I thought I'd go over what my thoughts are. Of course, this is the first time since I've been playing 40k that a codex has been updated. I mean, I've only had it for a few days, but I'm getting the idea of a lot of it already. A lot of rules changes and whatnot as well. So just going over through from the front to the back, so start with the HQs. You got warlord traits, so people like Abaddon, Huron, Khan and Typhus, they always have set warlord traits, and they always use chaos warlord traits. So I believe Abaddon's gives him a preferred enemy, I think it is. What is it? He gets preferred enemy space marines and everybody within 12 inches of him. Whereas Typhus, his warlord trait is always fear. He always generates fear. The amount of customizability for your lords, all of that is equipment. So the armories are back from, I think, 4th, maybe 3rd edition? I think it's 4th. Yeah, no, it'd be 3rd, I think. 3rd edition? Is that with the Tau? Anyway, you got the armories like you had with Tau. I mean, not everybody uses the armories. It's usually a case of sergeants or basically characters can use the armories. And I don't know if you can quite see this, but you got melee weapons, ranged, terminator weapons, special issue, rewards, artifacts, and marks. And it will say in their stats what they can have. So, for example, in a champion for a Chaos Marine squad, it will say they can choose any weapons from the melee weapons or the ranged weapons sections. A Lord can choose from any of the sections, but they can only ever choose from Terminator ones if they're wearing Terminator armor for obvious reasons. So I like that. It does mean I'm turning back to pages rather often. I'm looking at the named characters, and I have to admit I love all the named characters. Every single named character seems to have got a lot better. For example, Khan, Gorechild is exactly the same as it was in previous edition, however it's not Initiative 1 anymore. So he's now normal initiative of Initiative 5, which is fantastic. He also gets he's got preferred enemy against Space Marines, as of all the named characters. Horon is fantastic. His Power Claw his Power Fist is no longer a Power Fist. If I bring him up quickly, he's got the Tyrant's Claw, which is doubles his strength, but it's AP 3, but gives you Armor Bane and Shred. And he's also carrying a Power Axe as well, so brilliant. Absolutely blooming brilliant. He's got a 4+ Invuln, which I think is actually better than what he had last codex. I think he had a 5 Invuln last codex. Every turn he generates one random psychic power. From Biomancy, Pyromancy or Divination. Although you can never choose the Primaris, I think. Yeah, he can't ever take the Primaris, but he generates one random psychic power per turn. So he just seems really good. Arrowman, Majesty level 4. It does mean he can take all 4 of the Zinch psychic powers without having to roll at all, which is bloomin' dangerous. His staff is basically a warding stave, a force stave, which allows him to use 3 Witchfire powers in one turn. Typhus's Destroyer Hive has changed. He now carries blight grenades as normal, but his destroyer hive basically puts a template on top of him once per game at strength 4 AP2. You got plague zombies, so you can turn cultists into zombies for no additional points. They just means that the cultists can't take any upgrades, but gain fearless, feel no pain, and slow and purposeful. Lucius. Oh. Lucius is the ultimate. He is the ultimate dueler. If you are forced to duel against Lucius, bloody look out. Initiative 6. His weapon, his attacks in a duel is always equal to your opponent's weapon skill. And your opponent's going to have a weapon skill of at least 4 usually. So you're always going to get something like 5 attacks. It's going to be ridiculous. He's got his Lash of Torment, which gives him, which is a, what was it? I think he carries a power weapon. Yeah, he's got Power Sword, and he's got his Lash of Torment, which reduces all attacks by 1, and gives him the Shred rule, so you get rerolls to wound on your Power Sword, your opponent's -1 attack, and even if they do get through, he's got 3 plus armor, 5 plus invuln. Any saves he makes, the person in base contact with him, or the person who's in challenging, takes a strength 4 AP2 hit. Lucius is a badass in a duel. However, 5 plus invuln, he's easy to kill. Bile's okay. He's probably the one I least like, really. Gone is the random table and paying for upgrades. Now it's just a case of 1 unit that gains +1 strength and fearless. It's okay. Best use on the large squad of 20 or so, but otherwise Bile's not that great, I personally find. The Lords. Now the Lords are the where you got to look at, because all Lords of the appropriate mark, whenever they take an appropriate mark, for example, a Chaos Lord takes a mark of Khorne, from that point on, all Khorne Berserkers are troops. Same with Nurgle, makes Plague Marines. Same with Slaanesh, makes Noise Marines. The only exception being Tzeentch, who need to take Sorcerers with the mark of Tzeentch, and that makes Thousand Suns troops. So being able to basically take all of them as troops is brilliant, because I love them. I've always loved them. And as you can tell, those 4 guys no longer troops. They're elites, bog standard, unfortunately. Demon Prince has been nerfed. Nerfed heavily. Its stats are better than it was. I mean, it's got initiative 8 now. 8. Weapon skill 9. So Marines are hitting it on a 5. However, he's leadership 9 standard now, and has no armor save other than his 5 plus invuln. You have to pay for his power armor, and you have to pay to give him wings. You can make him up to Majesty level 3, but you have to pay an extra 25 points per Majesty level. And he comes in at 145 points standard before upgrades. He's easily going to something like 230 odd. And yes, they are flying monstrous creatures once they take wings now. Thank you, flippin' FAQ from previous codex. It's always stupid, that codex. The Warpsmith, basically a tech marine. I absolutely love him though, because instead of bolster defences, he got shatter defences, which is the reverse, so it minuses the toughness of one of your opponent's buildings, which is brilliant. Perfect counter to things like Lysander and whatnot. Oh, there's some scouts with camo cloaks. Yeah, they've only got their 4 plus cover now again. I love that. The Dark Apostle I don't like. He's too expensive when you consider that he's 105 and the Lord is 65. The Dark Apostle is just too damn expensive. I mean, yes, you get to re-roll your boon tables while he's in the units, I believe. He does have Hatred and Fearless. Was he Zealot? Everybody uses his leadership of leadership 10, but what I was hoping for was basically a Chaos Chaplain, someone who allows rerolls to hit on the turn of first turn of combat, but didn't get that, and to be honest, he's not that great. Your Chaos Marines are where the main fluff is. They got mountains of equipment they can have, all the same sort of standard stuff. However, they're insanely cheap. 75 points for a standard squad. That's okay. 13 points per man after that. So you can have all the marks. That's another thing which has changed. The marks have mostly changed. The marks are now exactly the same. However, any psychers who take any of the marks have to take at least one of the psychic spells from that god. So if you've got a sorcerer with Mark of Zinch who's Mastery level 2, and you want to take, say, a Pyromancy, you have to take at least one Zinch first. So it's a slight downside, but it's okay. Khorne's changed, so you no longer get +1 attack for Khorne. You get Rage and Counterattack, which I suppose is exactly the same. Yeah, pretty much it's exactly the same. It's just you're not guaranteed to get it all the time. Yeah, but Chaos Marines are just so blooming cheap. You can give them Veterans of the Long War, which ups their leadership by 1, basically making them to the leadership the same as they once were, because they're now 8 and 9, opposed to 9, 10. And it also gives them Preferred Enemy Space Marines, and to be honest, you find Space Marines all the blooming time. Absolute all the time. And then I think I should probably talk about this one, because Champions of Chaos. It is an horrendous pain in the arse. What Champions of Chaos is basically is that you always have to challenge if able, and you always have to accept if able. It just means that your champions are going to die in 5 seconds. They really are going to just be slaughtered. I mean, occasionally it's really good. I mean, I know the first game I played with using this, my lord just kept slaughtering units and knobs. Because every time he challenged, he would accept with one knob, slice him down, I get a boon because he just slayed a character. If he declined, I got rid of his Power Claw guys, and now I just go around slaughtering more knobs and get more boons. But a lot of the time it's going to be a pain in the arse, because your champion's going to die pretty quickly. Cultists, the new thing, which to be honest everybody's going to use for a while. They're objective holders. That's it. Objective holders or cannon fodder. I mean, you can take a unit of up to 35, which is a really large unit, but you can't make them fearless with an icon of vengeance. You can give them marks, but not that great. And as soon as they lose a combat, they're going to be running. They're going to get sweeping advanced. Personally, cannon fodder to sit in front of your guys, or to take a 10-man unit, sit it behind somewhere where the opponent can't see, and hold an objective. That's all they're really good for, personally. Unless you're taking Typhus, and then you got zombies, and then you got brain-eating fun. Chosen are more or less the exact same the way they used to be. There's not much really to say. Chosen now have 2-attack standard, which I can't remember if they did or not. I'll have to double check with my old codex. They can take 5 of the special weapons. They've lost infiltrate. That's the only real thing. But otherwise, they've got all the stuff they used to have. They've got also some new stuff. For example, they got the new types of icons. You can give them marks without risking losing the icon bearer and then losing the mark. So Chosen is still damn good, really damn good. They just can't outflank and blow up a Leman Russ in turn 1, or turn 2 rather.